Did you know that every 3 seconds, someone in the world develops dementia? That's over 10 million new cases each year. But here's the terrifying truth. Dementia doesn't just appear suddenly one day. In reality, the disease often creeps in silently, with changes in the brain happening months or even years before anyone realizes something is wrong. While you go about your daily routine, cooking, watching TV, chatting with friends, your brain might already be changing in ways you can't see. These changes are subtle, so much so that many people mistake them for normal aging or simply being tired or stressed. But ignoring these signs can be a costly mistake, because dementia, if caught early, can often be slowed down. In some cases, the decline can even be prevented or delayed with the right lifestyle and medical interventions. That's why this video could make a real difference in your life, or the life of someone you love. Today, we're going to uncover 7 of the earliest and most silent signs of dementia that commonly appear at least 1 year before a formal diagnosis. These aren't the obvious memory loss symptoms everyone talks about. These are quiet red flags that creep in unnoticed, especially sign number 1, which is dangerously easy to overlook. And stay with us until the end, because we'll also share 4 powerful, science-backed foods that can help protect your brain and support cognitive function. If you're over 60, or if you care for someone who is, this information is too important to ignore. So now, let's walk through 7 subtle, yet powerful early symptoms of dementia. If you or someone you love shows any of these signs, it's time to take action. 7 subtle personality changes. One of the earliest red flags of dementia isn't memory loss, it's a shift in personality. Imagine someone who was once cheerful and chatty, suddenly becoming withdrawn, irritable, or emotionally flat. Maybe they no longer laugh at their favorite shows, avoid social gatherings they used to love, or seem indifferent during conversations. These changes aren't just mood swings. They're gradual and persistent personality shifts that are deeply connected to how the brain processes emotion. In many cases, it's the frontal lobe, the area of the brain responsible for managing empathy, impulse control, and social behavior. That's being affected. In types of dementia, like frontotemporal dementia, these shifts are among the very first symptoms to appear, sometimes years before memory problems arise. Unfortunately, these signs are often dismissed. Loved ones might chalk it up to stress, fatigue, or even grief. But when someone starts behaving in ways that are out of character for them, especially if it affects relationships or daily routines, it may be time to look closer. 6. Difficulty making simple decisions. Choosing what to wear, what to eat, or what item to buy at the store. These simple tasks can become surprisingly difficult. The individual might take an unusually long time to decide between 2 shirts, or may wear something completely inappropriate for the weather. This type of indecisiveness is not the same as anxiety or overthinking. In early dementia, it's as if the steps of decision-making, evaluating options, understanding consequences, start to crumble. This is because the prefrontal cortex, which handles logic and planning, is beginning to deteriorate. Even more alarming, people might make unsafe or illogical choices while appearing confident. They might forget to turn off the stove, give away money to strangers, or ignore bill payments. These aren't random mistakes. They're signs of impaired judgment that can become dangerous over time. And because the person often doesn't realize they're making poor decisions, this sign is particularly hard to catch, but potentially life-saving if addressed early. 5. Difficulty following conversations. Conversations, especially in groups, can feel increasingly overwhelming for someone in the early stages of dementia. The words are heard, but they don't seem to register, like trying to catch every third sentence in a movie with the sound turned down. The brain simply can't keep up with the pace. This breakdown in comprehension leads to frustration, embarrassment, and eventually avoidance. A senior who once loved dinner parties might become quiet, stop contributing, or begin nodding along without really understanding what's being said. It's not because they don't care. It's because it's mentally exhausting to process so much at once. This symptom is particularly cruel because it leads to isolation. People withdraw to avoid being found out or because they feel lost in the flow of conversation. And isolation itself is one of the most powerful accelerators of cognitive decline. If you notice someone zoning out during chats, repeating questions, or withdrawing socially, it may not be a loss of interest, but a loss of ability to process language in real time. That's a subtle but very real sign that something deeper may be going on in the brain. 4. Getting lost in familiar places. Perhaps the most unsettling early symptom of dementia is getting lost. Not in a new city, but in your own neighborhood. Picture someone who has walked the same block every morning for years, but suddenly can't remember where to turn. Or they drive to their regular grocery store, only to forget why they went or how to get home. This signals a failure of the brain's internal GPS, primarily the entorhinal cortex. It's one of the first areas affected by dementia and is crucial for spatial awareness. At first, the individual might write it off. I was distracted, or I just took a wrong turn. But when this happens repeatedly, it becomes dangerous. People with this symptom may begin avoiding errands or relying heavily on GPS for even short trips. Some experience a chilling sense of disorientation in their own home, not recognizing rooms or misjudging where things are. This goes beyond memory. It's a loss of connection to space and environment, which greatly increases the risk of wandering and injury. Loved ones should watch for clues. Increasing reluctance to drive, sudden anxiety about going outside, or getting turned around in familiar places. These aren't just slips, they're silent cries for help from a brain that's beginning to lose its bearings. 3. Losing track of time and dates. We all occasionally forget what day it is. But with early dementia, this forgetfulness turns into disorientation. A person might repeatedly ask the same question about the date or believe it's morning when it's already evening. They may mix up seasons, forget appointments entirely, or think an event from 5 years ago just happened last week. This symptom is linked to problems in the hippocampus and surrounding regions, the part of the brain that creates a sense of time. It's not just about forgetting a calendar date. It's about losing the ability to feel time moving at all. The person may seem confused about whether they've eaten already, what month it is, or even if a loved one who passed away is still alive. This can be deeply distressing, not only for the person experiencing it, but for family members who notice this shift. It may also lead to unsafe behaviors, like missing medications or showing up to appointments on the wrong day. When someone loses their internal clock, it's a sign that their brain is no longer anchoring them in reality the way it once did. 2. Misplacing items in strange places. Forgetting where you put your glasses or keys now and then is normal. But placing your wallet in the refrigerator or your shoes in the kitchen cabinet and having no idea how they got there is something entirely different. This type of behavior is a common early sign of dementia. It's not just about forgetfulness, it's about a breakdown in the brain's spatial memory, the ability to remember where things are and where they should go. It can also reflect deeper confusion about the function of everyday items. In more advanced stages, people might use objects incorrectly, brushing hair with a toothbrush or trying to eat with a remote control. These actions reflect how dementia disrupts the brain's logical and associative networks, turning familiar surroundings into a strange and confusing world. When these behaviors are noticed repeatedly, it's a strong indicator that the brain is struggling to organize, remember, and interpret daily life. 1. Trouble naming everyday objects. This final sign is perhaps the most silent and the most heartbreaking. It begins not with dramatic forgetfulness, but with something incredibly subtle: the inability to recall the name of common things. Someone might stop mid-sentence and say, "Pass me the thing," or refer to a toothbrush as the mouth stick. At first, this might be brushed off as a simple slip of the tongue, but when it happens more frequently, and the person substitutes vague words like thingy or that stuff, it's a red flag. This symptom is called anomic aphasia, and it points to damage in the brain's temporal lobe, which processes language. People experiencing this symptom often know what they want to say. They can visualize it, but the words just don't come. When someone can no longer find the words for their thoughts, they begin to lose their ability to share their inner world, a truly devastating consequence that must not be ignored. 4 brain protective foods. While the signs of dementia are frightening, there's also hope, because what you eat can help protect your brain. Let's take a closer look at 4 brain protective foods that are not only backed by research, but also simple to include in your everyday meals. 1. Walnuts. These brain-shaped nuts are more than a coincidence. They're a true superfood for cognitive health. Walnuts are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that supports healthy brain function and reduces inflammation. In one major study from UCLA, people who ate walnuts regularly scored significantly higher on memory and thinking tests. Walnuts are also packed with antioxidants, vitamin E, and polyphenols, all of which help fight oxidative stress, a key contributor to brain aging. Best of all, walnuts are easy to add to your diet. Sprinkle them over oatmeal or salads, blend them into smoothies, or just enjoy a small handful as a snack. Just 1 ounce a day may help preserve your brain power. 2. Turmeric, curcumin. Used for thousands of years in Ayurvedic medicine, turmeric contains curcumin, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound that can cross the blood-brain barrier. A landmark study, published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry, found that seniors who took curcumin supplements for 18 months experienced significant improvements in memory, attention, and even had less beta-amyloid buildup in brain scans, a hallmark of Alzheimer's. But there's a trick. Curcumin must be consumed with black pepper and a healthy fat, like coconut milk or olive oil, to be absorbed properly. A great way to enjoy it? Try a warm, golden milk drink made with turmeric, black pepper, and coconut milk before bed. 3. Dark chocolate, 70% or higher. Yes, chocolate can be brain food, as long as it's the dark kind. Dark chocolate is loaded with flavonoids, powerful plant compounds that improve blood flow to the brain and enhance learning and memory. In a 2015 study, older adults who consumed high flavonol cocoa daily showed faster mental processing and better verbal fluency. Dark chocolate also boosts the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that helps create new brain cells. Aim for a square or two of 70% or higher dark chocolate each day. Not only is it delicious, but it's one of the most enjoyable ways to support your brain. 4. Extra virgin olive oil, a cornerstone of the Mediterranean and Mind diets. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in polyphenols and healthy fats that reduce inflammation and improve blood circulation, both essential for brain health. Research from the Mind diet study shows that people who consumed olive oil regularly had a significantly lower risk of Alzheimer's and slower cognitive decline. Olive oil also helps protect against the buildup of beta-amyloid plaques. Use it as your go-to oil for salad dressings, drizzling over cooked veggies, or dipping with whole grain bread. For the best brain benefits, choose cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil stored in a dark glass bottle. These 4 foods are simple, affordable, and easy to enjoy, and they could help you stay sharper, longer. Now that we've explored the 7 silent signs of dementia and 4 powerful foods that can help protect your brain, let's take a moment to reflect. So here's what you can do next. Start tracking the signs. Jot down when they happen and how often. Talk to a healthcare provider. Ask questions. Get evaluated. Begin incorporating brain-healthy habits like the foods we mentioned, regular walks, restful sleep, and social engagement. And finally, let's talk to each other, because your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with someone who may need it, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss our weekly tips on aging with clarity, strength, and dignity. Until next time, take care of your brain, your body, and each other. You deserve it. Now that we've explored the 7 silent signs of dementia and 4 powerful foods that can help protect your brain, let's take a moment to reflect. So here's what you can do next. Start tracking the signs. Jot down when they happen and how often. Talk to a healthcare provider. Ask questions. Get evaluated. Begin incorporating brain-healthy habits like the foods we mentioned, regular walks, restful sleep, and social engagement. And finally, let's talk to each other, because your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with someone who may need it, And don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss our weekly tips on aging with clarity, strength, and dignity. Until next time, take care of your brain, your body, and each other. You deserve it.